Hello, my friends, and welcome back to RC Rugged Roach. I'm Brian. So this is the RC Jungle expansion that we're going to do here on the floor. Now, you've seen my course before in my other videos. We have Mudland Canyon, Mount Gray Skull, and our volcano. So we're going to mix it up by adding some green in on this course. Now, these have to be modular because I need the floor space. So when I'm not playing, we will just slide these under these tables. I get into that a little bit more about how I went about doing that. So anyway, like, subscribe, and let's get into this expansion. All right, here we are on the floor with these 2-foot deep by 4-foot long pieces of plywood. And on the bottom, I've put pleather. This pleather is to help me slide it up under these tables when I'm not using it. It'll help it slide a lot easier. As you can imagine, wood, even if you smooth it out or not, can still have little snags and make it harder to pull across the carpet. What you're seeing on that back panel there is I have begun 3D printing some ideas. There's some trees there that I will definitely be painting up to look more natural. It's just a filament that I had available at the time. Over here on the right, you see that black piece. That's going to be kind of like a base of maybe a Mayan type of a temple or something. I'm going to try to fix it up like an old ruins or something. So what I'm thinking right now, and my courses do change, is these two pieces are going to form a like jungle scene. So you're going to go from, if you've seen my course, the kind of a rocky, mountainy castle top thing down to the lava area. Let's just take a look at that. So right here we have what I'm referring to as the muddy. That's like Mudland Canyon kind of thing. That's like Mount Gray Skull. Yes, that's a throwback to the ADT man kind of with Castle Gray Skull. Then we have the volcano scene, and we're going to feed that down from the volcano scene down here onto the floor into like a Mayan ruins in the jungle. That's my initial plan. You're going to be on this journey with me, and we're going to see where it ends up taking us. So over here, you see some, on this side, you see some eggs crates stacked. That was kind of stacking up to get a general height idea of what I'll be doing. And then on this side, so this is going to be like a staircase type thing using some foam board on that side. And then over on the left, I'm probably going to have like maybe a crumbled ruins and like a natural rocky top thing going back up to the volcano. So you have a fluid movement there. So this foam board that I'm talking about, right now I'm on a budget, so I had to get what I could afford. And I'm using some 1-inch foam board, but I'm going to stack it 2 inches high. So I'm going to also lay these down on top of that wood. So we'll have a 1-inch foundation on top of the plywood where we can carve into it if we want to and make like a pond area, pour some glossy Mod Podge in there, that kind of thing, make it shine, or buy some resin. We'll just see what happens when we get to that point. Anyway, thank you. Stick around. We are on the journey to build a jungle scene onto my already existing crawler course. So what I've done so far is I'm using the weight of this top piece of plywood to help hold down foam board on the first piece of plywood. I'm putting this Loctite Power Grab all-purpose glue on there. I did the research, and this will not melt the foam, causing toxic fumes, etc. So all I did on this first layer is I squeezed a generous portion of this onto the wood, and then I laid my foam board again to help secure it. I'm using the natural weight of this wood on top of there to secure it. Once I put some of this down and put the next piece of foam board down, I will find some weight that will help hold that glue in place while it, or the wood on the glue in place while it dries. I don't want to put like maybe heavy dumbbells or anything because it's probably not going to spread the weight out evenly, and it'll cause indentations in my foam board. But we'll see what we get. Hold on just a moment and we'll get to the next step. All right, all I did was just squeeze some of that glue out, making sure I got close to the edges and some in the middle to help secure that. I'm going to lay my foam board down on top of that, and then we'll find some weight to help compress that down on that glue until it dries. And there we have it. I found some lighter dumbbells. I didn't use my big cast iron ones. I'm just using these little light weights here. I think it'll give enough weight. Put one on each corner, and then 2 in the middle. Well, opposing corners. I may see if I got 2 more to put them on those other 2 corners. This is probably sufficient, but hey guys, listen, I am not anyone who's familiar with construction or anything like that. I'm just a guy trying to figure his way through this. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that know a much better way than this, but for you guys who are ignorant to construction like myself, maybe I can help you out, to feel your way through it. But guys, if you're into construction or you know better ways to do this, feel free to comment down in the comment field below so we can help these other guys out. Maybe I'm not using the best materials or whatever for this, but again, So far, it has worked for my needs. You know, the way I've done this up here and the way I've done this, for my needs, it's perfect. If you don't like my course or the way I've done anything, hey, that's fine. We all do our own thing. We all have our own opinions, and that's all right. But anyway, we're going to continue on with this course. We're going to let this dry maybe the rest of the day. I'm starting to 3D print some stuff. I've got my printer going, and we're going to see what we can add to this to make it look authentic. This is going to be a long journey. I'm going to have to do this as the budget allows, being able to find the available materials, that kind of thing. Hang with me, guys. We're going to make this thing look awesome. All right, here we are with the progress I've made thus far. So what I'm trying to do with this expansion is it's going to be kind of a jungle and Mayan theme. I may have stated that before. We're going to see what we come up with. Often my courses change, and I can get into this thing and change it multiple times. I am trying to incorporate some 3D printing since I got a 3D printer for Christmas. I've been trying out new things, trying to learn how to code this stuff, learning a little bit about physics as far as these crawlers crawling up the staircase there. You may see some white stair caps in there. Those are to just give it a little variation when I paint these with grays or whatever. Obviously the darks are going to show through more. Again, I'm learning. I didn't think to make the wedges on the steps to assist with the climbing. I didn't think to make some of those white as well. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. There's going to be so much here to see at one time. I don't think you're going to really be laser focused in on any particular thing. So what I'm running into now is I'm trying to utilize as much driving space as possible. Over there, you see the foam heel. It's got some notches in the foam there to kind of give it that dip, the little V dips and all that. I'm thinking about bringing that heel down to this side too. Let's just give it a lot of different lines to climb. I have some heels, but they're pretty much straight shot up climbs. There's not many lines or anything you can do. I'm referring to such as the volcano there, coming off of that bottom piece and climbing up. Sorry about the jerking motion of this tripod. Also, I'm referring to things like this heel over here, going up the main section there into that tunnel. There's just not something providing a lot of different lines you can take. I think we may try that with that foam rise there, maybe bring it down the side. Now, when you get something made and you really like it and you think it really looks good, it's kind of hard to cut it up, make modifications. However, I'm thinking on that foam heel, you can see where those 3 lava streaks come down. I may actually cut into that and make it slope up there, because I'm having a hard time transitioning from the foam heel here up to, because that's high. This side over here is not as high. As you can see there, the staircase is reaching it no problem. I have to be able to slide these under these tables over here on the side, because my fiance, who needs walking space, she's blind, so she utilizes a walking cane and all that, and there's just not enough room here for her. So as I discussed earlier, I put pleather on the bottom of these boards here, this plywood, so I can slide it under that table and one under that table as well, long ways. So we're trying to make these modular and make them easily moved to get out of her way when I'm not playing. She's really supportive on all this, and just I try to be respectful and give her some walking space. Anyway, moving on. So let's talk about some individual things on this. I'm going to take this camera off this tripod. We're going to get a little closer to some of these and discuss what I'm running into now. Now, this is going to be a multi-part build here. It's not going to move fast. It's going to take money. It's going to take moving around a lot. I have a back injury, so sometimes it is aggravated and I can't work on it for days at a time. So anyway, let's get this off the tripod and take a closer look at some of this. Let's talk about this staircase. So this staircase is cut with foam and stacked. You know what? It'd be easier just to take this side piece off and show you. So the base, I wanted 2 inches, but it was cheaper for me for my needs to just buy the 1 inch and just double stack it. So it's 18 inches, 16 inches, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. So it just kind of gradually grows. Now, that is a pretty steep climb. And oddly enough, my SCX24 Jeep JLU can climb right up it without the assisting wedges. Okay, you see these wedges here? The Jeep can actually go up without them. And I had these Mayan type symbols here that are now going to get covered, because the TRX4Ms with the longer wheelbase and everything, they just kept standing up on me. So I had to give them assistance. I want it to be challenging, but I don't want it to be impossible, if that makes sense. And like I said, the Jeep was going right up it. I played around with well, I can show you. So I had markers. I had a marking on here where I was going to leave the middle for the Jeep, the SCX24 and any future ones I may get, because they're short wheelbases. They were going right up, and then maybe cut some assistance here or put wedges only on the sides to where those TRX4Ms could kind of grab it and go up. But I decided just to make it uniform. Up top, I may cut these sides out and all that to kind of look like there was some damage to the staircase, because this may end up looking kind of like some Mayan ruins type stuff, putting some Mayan symbols and things like that. But again, I'm new to 3D printing, so this is going to be a challenge. I have these, and then also when coming down, it was and flipping over because these weren't deep enough to say. So there's some what's called nosings that I've designed to bring it out a little further to give it a smooth descent as well. So I'm going to try this first before I print up all those pieces coming off the front. This is not going to be the traditional staircase by the time I get done with it, but we're going to try to make it look like some kind of exotic staircase that the Mayans bent, and there was some ruins. This is going to have a jungle theme with some vines growing over some of the things. Moving on, I printed some 3D trees. Now, guys, the stair caps and some stones that I'm going to have on the sides of the stairs, these are my own designs, 3D printing. Again, I'm new, so these are very basic. And then I'm going to put some little Mayan symbols in this on the sides of the stairs going up on both sides. Just a very simple design there. However, I am printing Bamboo Labs Maker's World, some 3D prints of some awesome designers on there, and I will do my best to remember to give these guys credits, whose design it is in the description. This actually, because of the size, was a 3-piece print, and there's some little dowels that you can print as well to kind of lock them together. Now I put some putty in here to seal it. I've been sanding on that. We're going to make this one big solid piece, paint it all together, make it very cohesive. But I think that is a really awesome design. It's great for 24th scale, 30th scale. Maybe not so much. It may be scalable though. But for my TRX4Ms and my SCX24s and things like that, perfect. I found these trees that somebody's designed. It's got some missing bark, so I'm going to try to do this justice in painting it. I've got those kind of spread throughout. Now that's just, I don't know where I'll actually have them placed. This is definitely a work in progress. So yeah, I guess that's about it, except for the fact that, when doing this kind of stuff, it's okay to go cheap on like plants and stuff like that. So I was on Temu. Yeah, some people don't like it. They say you get scammed and everything else. But anyway, I've not had a real bad experience with Temu unless I didn't fully read a description and something was much smaller. But anyway, this is some moss they're going to spread throughout. I have some little ferns that I can tack places to look like this has just been forgotten and overgrown, and ruins are covered in this stuff. I've got some leaves here, some bigger fern top leaves, it looks like, some sort that I can incorporate, put them down in some sculpted mold or something. Then I got these, which are vines that I'm going to stretch out. That's why I'm going to need trees and possibly some columns to kind of stretch those vines across. I really want this to look like a natural jungle that's overgrown. Again, that is my original intention. We're going to see where this takes us, because I want to get a video out to you guys and just kind of let you know what I've been up to and take you on this journey with this course. Now, I may have other videos in between these times, but we are going to start working on this jungle/Mayan course expansion. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And guys, please feel free to leave me comments down there in the comment field. Let me know what you would like to see on here. Now, I have balance beams on the volcano. I have hill climbs. I have a lava pit over here in Mudland Canyon. I have a small mud pit. I have caves with rocks, all those kinds of things. I don't think I'm going to have room to incorporate any type of rope bridge or anything, but feel free to let me know what you would like to see on this course, and I'll see if I can do it. I'm not a fan of the seesaw type things or anything like that, but again, open to your suggestions. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.